there is a certain degree of beauty in violence and anger. And you see it all over the entertainment industry. And it's obvious that the population appreciates this violence and this anger, and that they see that there's beauty in it. That's why there's so many people obsessed with violence. But there must be a distinction from within to know when one is appreciating it and understanding it, and then when one is obsessed with it and cannot distinct between what is healthy and unhealthy. So martial arts is supposed to be the beautiful display of violence. That's why a lot of people are drawn to it. That's why a lot of peaceful people, caring people, loving people can be drawn to martial arts. So you see in the films, all Bruce Lee's films are portraying violence and anger, revenge, his reaction to disrespect, to revenge of criminal doings. He is maybe like a superhero or something, and he has inspired many. But you know that these movies are false. They're not real. These people in the movies are not really getting hurt. They are acting. Behind the scenes, Bruce Lee could be good friends with all the people that he fights with in the movies. So that's what makes it beautiful. That really nobody is getting hurt. It's just for entertainment, and it's expressing violence and anger. And that is an example of beauty of violence. And you see it in a lot of other movies, movies such as Gladiator with Russell Crowe. He's cutting people's heads off and killing people and going through revenge for the death of his child and his wife. The movie was very entertaining, and it's won, the best movie of the year, so people obviously love it. There's a lot of war in the movie, a lot of killing, a lot of violence, a lot of anger, but there's beauty in it because it's a movie, and you know that Russell Crowe is a good person with a good heart, but he just went through a lot of pain, and he was seeking revenge. But you see that it's a movie as well. So the reason why there's beauty in it is because it's a movie, and it's for entertainment, and there is beauty in it. You see something like Menace to Society or Boys in the Hood, or these movies are gangster movies, a lot of killings, but there's beauty in the movies. Even though there's so much violence, there's beauty in it. But that is only because, once again, it is a movie. You know that these people that are getting shot in the movie are not really shot. They're not really dead. They're acting. And that's what makes it beautiful. But the movies are actually portraying real life events that occur in the ghettos. It's portraying real life experiences of actual gangsters. And that, the real life experience, that violence, is crossing the line. It's no longer beautiful. If you do see it as beautiful, then you have lost the distinction of what is healthy and what is unhealthy, then you can very easily get caught up and imprisoned for having a mental state that is uncivilized. And that is what the mass murderers in jail, or the ones that have been executed, that's what they are. They're the people who cannot make that distinction between what is healthy and unhealthy violence. They are the people like Jeffrey Dahmer, who takes the violence into reality and kills for pleasure. They are just the mass murderers of society. They are like the Adolf Hitlers, who take the violence and the anger into reality, and they have no sensitivity. They've lost heart. They have no compassion, no love, and they find so much pleasure in violence. So when you lose that heart, that compassion, that love, you can end up turning into the cold-blooded, violent criminal. And that is something that everybody must be very aware of, because we live in a society where they glorify violence as something beautiful. And yes, I admit there is something beautiful in violence that is portrayed in the movies, in the entertainment. But once you take it closer to reality, it's no longer beautiful. It's very ugly. And if people do not see that, then there will be big problems with society. You see the Virginia Tech, for example, the incident. It's ugly. And you wish that that didn't happen. But those that find pleasure in seeing that happen, there's something wrong with their mental state. They have gone to an extreme in which to be obsessed with violence. And you see something like the violent video games, where people shooting others in the games and killing people, getting as many kills as they can. People find a lot of pleasure in that. Those video games are a billion-dollar industry, and they're trying to make them more real as the years go by. And you take that a step further to reality, and there you have the Virginia Tech. So what is a concern is for people who do not realize that when violence is taken into reality, there is no beauty in it. It is ugly. It is unhealthy. It is not good for society. And that one is what I see is no longer art. You see, like rap music, violent poetry, there's beauty in it because it's just words. They may hurt, the words may hurt, but it's words of poetry. There's beauty. But once this violence is taken onto the physical level and people start killing each other, that is ugly. That is not art. And that is not beautiful. There must be the inner realization of the distinction.